What's up, guys? We are back for a new episode of UFC Bro Picks. This is Justin. We got UFC Fresno, T-City versus Cub Swanson. I'm going solo tonight. He couldn't make it. And yeah, man, let's redo a little recap real quick of, Saturday. We had two good cards. We had a tough finale card, and we had UFC 218. I went 4-2 on my plays. On the tough finale card, I bet 1 unit on James and 2 units on Ware. So it was a plus 1.75 night for me. And then on 218, I went plus 2.27. I bet Allison in the distance, and I bet Felice straight, Tamer straight, and then Perez straight. So yeah, I just lost on Perez. But yeah, man, let's talk about James real quick. Yeah, man, that was awesome, man. I mean, James is a jobber in my opinion, but like I said, man, it was the spot, and I really thought he could have got the win there. I mean, the first round was pretty sweaty. I mean, he almost died in that round, but he came back, and honestly, like I think maybe at the last minute in the first round, I mean, he came back and was looking good, and then won the second round easily. I mean, I think it was a 10-8 first round for Sanchez, easily a 10-8 in the second round for James, and then he came back and got the TKO. That was awesome. I mean, I was screaming. I wish I would have put more on it. I bet him 1 unit at plus 375. I know the line was like what 425 or something like that. So yeah, I wish I would have put like 2 units on it. But yeah, man, James, thanks for cashing that bet. And he's a tough guy, man. So we'll see who he fights next. Sanchez, I mean, the guy's just done, man. I mean, I can't wait to see who he fights next. I mean, I think anyone can beat him really if you have good cardio and heart, So Ware, put up a pretty good fight against O'Malley. O'Malley is, no slouch. I didn't think he was ready, but he looked good. He won the third round, and it was tied, and Ware didn't want it, man. O'Malley wanted it more, and he showed that he's a good prospect. So we'll see who O'Malley fights next. We'll see who Ware fights next. I don't know if I'm still in the Ware business. And then 218, Allison, he had a controversial win, but I do think he won the fight. And in the rematch, I'll be betting him again. We got Felice Herrig. She won a pretty close fight, but I do think she won every round. Courtney Casey has the worst fight IQ out there. And then Tamer won a pretty easy decision. I don't know what the ref was doing in that fight. That is a pretty dumb call. And then we got Perez, he got 327. Cejudo just kind of took him down, laid on him. So enough with that, man. We got a pretty good card on Saturday. I will apologize to you guys that, I've been in finals for school. I just finished today, so I haven't been able to watch tape on every fight. I just watched tape on my play that I made. I only have one play so far, and on some other bets, some other plays that I was thinking about betting. So I probably did tape on like half the fight. So I apologize because I usually watch tape for every fight. But you guys know how big finals are for school. So without further ado, we'll start off first fight of the night. So we got Antonio Braga Neto versus Trevin Giles. Yeah, man, this is a pretty decent fight. I do like Giles. He's undefeated. He has a pretty good career. He's been there with some good guys. He won his debut, against, I believe the guy was, I think he's Ben Rothwell's guy. But yeah, he went out there and, finished him. He is a pretty athletic guy, for the division, big guy, good cardio, good wrestler, good striking. He is a little chinny, though. Shout out to Rockstar Z, because I know he wanted me to say that because, I like calling people out for saying that they're chinny and all that. But yeah, man, he's a little chinny, man, for sure. He gets wobbled in a lot of fights. But, I do think that he can win this fight. I mean, I do think he's going to win this fight. Neto hasn't fought in like 3 or 4 years. I know, he subbed Anthony Smith, but let's be real, Anthony Smith used to be a jobber. I actually kind of think he is still a top jobber. So we'll see, man. I mean, Thiago Santos would have smoked him, but I think Thiago Santos pulled today. But yeah, man, I just think, the ring rust is going to play a big factor here. I do think he's better than Giles on the ground, but I think on the feet, Giles, messes him up. I don't think he has a bad chin. I never said Giles is a bad chin. He's a tough guy. I just think he's a little chinny because he's been touched up sometimes, but he's never been, KO'd. He's never even lost a fight. So I think Giles is, too fast for this guy, too athletic, and I think he's going to be able to dictate where the fight goes and get a pretty easy win here. I do recommend him for DraftKings, so I'll be having him. But yeah, I'm going to pass from a bet because I don't like the line. I believe he opened at like minus 180 though, but I wasn't paying attention to the line because I was too busy, studying. So yeah, I got Trevin Giles. by a first-round KO. So next fight, we got Gruetzemacher versus Davy Ramos. Yeah, man, this is a pretty big mismatch. Gruetzemacher's coming up from featherweight to lightweight, and now he's fighting a guy that, made his debut welterweight, and now he's fighting a lightweight. Ramos should be a lightweight, for sure, and Gruetzemacher should be a featherweight. Gruetzemacher's from tough. I know Artem knocked him out. He had a pretty boring fight with Abner. He's from MMA Lab, tough guy, comes forward, decent wrestling, decent hands, but I just don't think he's that good. I think he's, a jobber. I think he's, one of the worst guys in the division. I think he's too small for lightweight. I think Ramos, fits lightweight perfectly. I don't think Ramos is, anything special either. I mean, the guy's lost to Dave Rickles, a pretty big jobber. But with that being said, I do think he can win this fight, though. I do think, Gruetzemacher's pretty bad, and I do think that Davy Ramos, definitely has a better ground game. I do think he's better on the feet. So I think both these guys are jobbers, but I think Davy Ramos is a tough guy, and I do think that he has some potential to win a couple fights. But I mean, I'm not saying he's like, good. I don't think he's impressive. I think he's, like I said, a tough guy. But yeah, man, I think he beats Chris in this fight, but if it's close, I won't be surprised. But I do think Ramos wins. I don't think he's going to finish him, though, so I'll go with Ramos by a 28-28 decision. Next fight, we got Aljo Perez versus Yuri Alcantara. This is a pretty close fight. Aljo's been in there with some good guys. He went to a draw, I believe, with the draw, right? Yeah, he went to the draw with Moraes. I think Moraes won that fight. He did not beat Andre Soukhamthath. That was robbery. Yeah, man. I mean, he does what he has to do to win. I don't think he's that impressive. Yuri's on his way out. Yuri's a big favorite here. Yuri's, drops the ball, man. I mean, you don't know what Yuri's going to get, but I do think Yuri will win this fight. I think he's definitely has a better ground game, and I do think he's better on the feet. Who knows where his chin's at, though? Who knows if he wants this fight? I believe he's training at Jackson's. He's a bigger guy, but I mean, Aljo Perez, the guy's lost to the worst guy in the division, Patrick Williams. So I don't trust either guy here, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Yuri to get the win. So first fight of the prelims, we got Frankie Saenz versus Merabh. I'm gonna mess his last name up, Dvailishvili or something like that. Yeah, man, a lot of people, including myself, I like picking and betting newcomers sometimes, and it's definitely cost me. Muslim dropped the ball bad against Alex Garcia, and Frankie Saenz, he is a tough guy for sure. I believe he's on his way out, and he's been in there with some good guys. He arguably could have beaten Faber, and then Wyland knocked him out, and then his last fight, he had a close fight with like Gus Mendez, but Mendez is not known for his striking. He dropped him too. He actually dropped Aljo too. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, man. I think Frankie Saenz is no slouch. I don't think he's a jobber. I think he's on his way out, but I think he's a tough guy. He has good wrestling, and it's going to be hard to get Merabh down. I think he can crack on the feet too. I think Merabh is pretty good though, man. I know he's making his debut. Might be a little too green, but I mean the guy trains at Aljo. He's a good striker. He can go 3 rounds. He has good ground game. It's a very close fight in my opinion. I mean, this might be one of the closest fights of the night. I'm going to go with Frankie Saenz, though. I do think that, he has what it takes to win this fight. Like I said, he's on his way out, but, I mean, we just haven't seen, Merabh, in there with the best guys. I know he fought, Stoss last fight, knocked him out, but, I mean, I just think a guy like Frankie Saenz can, kind of frustrate him on the feet, and, we don't know where his chin's at, but I think, he can win a decision here and, kind of pick him apart from outside and, not get caught. So I got Frankie Saenz by a close decision, but I'm not betting this fight. Next fight, we got Carlos de Tomas versus Alex Perez. I believe this fight's at bantamweight now. They both agreed to it. Alex Perez is a pretty big favorite. The guy's from Tough. I'm sorry, not Tough. Contender Series. Yeah, man, I do think Alex Perez, he's coming a long way. He's pretty good record. I do think he can win this fight. I don't think, De Thomas is that good. I guess he has like decent striking, but I didn't really look at him that much. I know he missed weight though in his last fight. He didn't look that good. I think Alex Perez is pretty, tricky guy. Trains on Yama. Yeah, I'll go with Alex Perez. I think he can beat him on the feet and take him down. So, and he has good grappling too. So, yeah, I got Alex Perez. So next fight we got Luke Sanders versus Andre Soukhamthath. This is a pretty good fight, man. Luke Sanders is a tough dude. I mean, he's been in there with some good guys. Who's smoking near on Alcantara's ass, and then got caught in the sub. It was kind of weird. He tapped out pretty fast. He has good striking, man. Those he has good wrestling. He's a tough guy. He's definitely in his division. He should not. I mean, he beat Blanco, but I mean, he's not a featherweight. He's perfect bantamweight. Good cardio. Can't count out Soukhamthath here, though. I mean, Soukhamthath is a pretty decent guy, and I know he's doesn't have the best record, but I mean, he arguably could have beaten Aljo Moraes, and he definitely won his last fight. He trains with Henry Hoof. He has good striking. I think striking is super close in this fight. I think Sanders could get him down. I don't think Soukhamthath can tap him out. So it's a close fight. It's one of the close fights in the card. I do like the card, though. I'm sorry, I do like the fight. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go with Soukhamthath here, though, man. Like I said, I do like Sanders, but the guy drops the ball. He quit against Yuri, and although I don't think Andre could tap him out, I think he could, win the striking Sanders on the feet and keep it on the feet. And although Luke throws heat, I do think Soukhamthath, might have the better chin, and I think that he might have the better cardio, and I think he could definitely, pick him apart and hurt him on the feet. So I got Soukhamthath by a 29-28 split. So the last fight, we got Alexis Davis versus Liz Carmouche. Yeah, man, Alexis Davis, she had a kid. The fight's I believe that is it flyweight? Yeah, flyweight. We haven't seen, either girl. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. We haven't seen either girl since, Alexis Davis fought Sydney. I believe Dano is one of the worst girls in the world. And then, Liz Carmouche fought, I think, the chick that trained with Frankie out here and Mark Henry, Kaylin Chikagian. Yeah, it was a close fight, but she definitely lost that last round. And, I mean, Liz Carmouche, she's definitely the bigger girl here. She's definitely the stronger girl. I think she can definitely, take Alexis Davis down at will. But she doesn't have to worry, she doesn't have to be worried about, Alexis Davis, her tricky submission game. But on the feet, I do think Liz Carmouche beats her too. So I got Carmouche. Yeah, I got her by a 29-28 decision. So next fight, we got first fight of the main card. We got Albert Moraes versus Benito Lopez. This is one fight that I was thinking about, betting. I'm picking Albert Moraes here. It's an even line. Benito Lopez, he had a pretty, decent debut on not tough. I'm sorry, on Contender Series against Steven Peterson. But Peterson's, not that good in my opinion. He's a jobber for sure, journeyman. And Benito Lopez gasses out, man, pretty fast. Especially fast. He gasses out after the first round. The guy's flashy, though, man. He has good striking. He trains alpha male. But Albert Moraes is no slouch, man. I mean, don't let the record fool you. I mean, the guy is definitely a decent guy and definitely, a prospect in the division. I mean, he's fought in the toughest guys, man. I mean, he's fought in Tomas Almeida. He's fought in Brett Johns. I mean, in his debut, he went to a draw with Aljo Perez. He definitely won that fight, though. And then he beat Soukhamthath, man. We just talked about Soukhamthath, man. Soukhamthath's good, man. I mean, no slouch. I think Albert Moraes is the better cardio here. I think, if he makes it out of the first, he can definitely win the second and third. I actually think he can get Benito Lopez down. I do think he has decent wrestling. People act like he has no wrestling because Brett Johns taken him down. Brett Johns is one of the best prospects in the division, man. And look, we just did the Joe Soto. I mean, I hope they make Brett Johns versus Cody Stamann. That's a very good fight. I know who I got that matchup, but we'll talk about that when it happens. But yeah, man, I just think Benito Lopez, is a little too green. And I think he's going to run into a savvy veteran here who can weather the storm. And, kind of, I can see it being like a back and forth brawl, but I think he's going to gas in that second round. And then Moraes is going to take over and just rip to the body and just, I think he can get some takedowns and just break him. So I got Albert Moraes here. And who knows? I mean, maybe I'll play it as right now, I'm passing, but yeah, man, I got Albert Moraes. Next fight, we got Eric Anders versus Marcus Perez. I'm very high on Eric Anders. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are too, but the guy's a former football player. The guy's legit, man. I mean, the guy has good cardio. The guy throws heat. The guy has power. The guy has good chin. The guy has cardio. I mean, everything, man. Good wrestling. You don't go out there and knock out, Rafael Natal. I know the guy is on his way out, but I mean, he smoked him, man. I mean, that guy used to be a top 15 dude. I mean, Robert Whitaker couldn't even finish him. I mean, it was a good performance from Anders. He's fighting a guy that's definitely smaller than him in this division. I think, he has him beat everywhere. I will say this, though. I do think Marcus Perez is pretty tricky off the ground, but I think Anders could, definitely not get subbed here. And I do think that he's better everywhere. So I think Anders is going to touch him on the feet. I don't think it's going to even hit the mat unless Anders, just a TKO and finishes on the mat. So I got Anders all day. He's too explosive and too athletic for this guy. And I want to see who he gets next, man, because I'm very high in this kid. So I got Anders here. Let's match him up with Boren, actually, something like that. Next fight, we got Scott Hassas Holtzman versus Daryl Horcher. This is a close fight, man. I've been going back and forth in this fight. I'm kind of surprised who I'm going with, but yeah, man, I'm going with Daryl Horcher, man. The guy, has a good left hook. He has power, man. I mean, I know he, beat, Devin Pound didn't finish him, but I think he won, 2 rounds. He could have won all 3 rounds, to be honest. He just, did some dumb stuff and whipped his neck out. But yeah, man. Obviously Khabib smoked him, but I mean that was, come on, it's Khabib. I don't like Khabib, but Khabib's one of the best fighters in the division. So I mean that's just real. Let's just be real. Yeah, man, he's a tough dude. I know he's had some surgeries, or he has the motorcycle problem, but he's a tough guy. Has a good left hook, has decent wrestling, and Scott Holtzman. I don't know, man. I think both these guys are jobbers, but I mean Scott Holtzman, had that war with Dober, and Emmett hurt him, and Emmett beat him. He barely beat McBride. I just don't think he's that good. I think he's a tough guy that he likes getting in brawls, and I think it's gonna be an ugly fight. But I just think Horcher could do more. Holtzman just has a problem with not throwing and drops the ball. So I'm gonna have to go with Horcher, man. I think he can out volume and not get caught and get a close decision win here. So yeah, man, I got Daryl Horcher, but yeah, I still got no plays. My first play is coming up though. So next fight we got Marlon Moraes versus Aljamain's Aljo Sterling. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be going with Aljo here. Initially I wanted the bet him, the line was way better though. And I just didn't, I didn't hit it. I mean, it was like a plus 165 and I wasn't paying attention because of, studying, and now it's like plus 115. I'm not hitting it here. A lot of people, like to talk crap and all this and, say that he's the Elias of the division because he throws a lot of kicks with volume and it's not power. But I mean, he's a winner, man. I mean, Aljo, he does what he has to do to win. I mean, he's lost a couple times in UFC, but I mean, he lost to Caraway, his first out. And, it was a split. He definitely lost that fight, but I mean, that was a learning experience for him. He lost a some style split, but I mean, come on, dude. The guy's beating some good guys. He's a good athletic guy for the division. He's fast, good volume. He doesn't have power, but I mean, he's a very strong dude. He has very good grappling. He's known for his grappling, very good on the ground. I know Morais is, good takedown defense, good ground game himself, but I think if anyone gets this fight to the ground, it's going to be Aljo. And on the feet, I mean, I know he's been dropped against, Augusto Mendes, but I mean, he's never been, finished. The guy's tough, and Morais, I think, has more power on the feet, but I do think that Aljo has more volume, and I think Aljo could, frustrate him with his kicks and kind of run away and, score points, maybe get him some late takedowns. So I like Aljo here, I'm not betting him though because I missed out on a good line, but I do like Aljo, and Morais just fought, recently with Dawson dropping, but obviously Aljo doesn't have power, but I do think Aljo could frustrate him. So I got Aljo by 29-28. For the co-main event, we got Jason Knight versus Gabriel Benitez. This is a pretty good fight. I actually bet big on Jason Knight versus Ricardo Ramos. I was at that fight live with Ricky, and I lost my shit, man, when Jason Knight just took that shot in the feet. And I mean, Ricardo Ramos, like, this one big hook, his first hook he landed, basically, I mean, hurt it, man. I mean, I know Knight has a good chin, but he's definitely been hurt though in fights. I mean, Jim Allers hurt him in his debut. He has a very good chin though, but I mean, who knows like how his chin is now? I mean, after that, he took a beating, man. He definitely got his life changed. I mean, being a fan of Jason Knight, biased or not, I mean, he definitely got his life changed. Who knows how he's going to look here. But Benitez is no slouch, man. The guy's very good weight kicks, good striking. Doesn't have the best takedown defense. So Knight, in my opinion, should not go out there and try to bang with him, get a fight tonight. He needs to go out there and take him down and tap him out. But if he doesn't, this fight stays on the feet. I mean, I think it's Benitez is live, man. So the line's off for sure. I think Knight should be like a minus 160, not minus 300. So I don't blame you guys for taking the shot on Benitez. I do think he could win because we don't even know how Jason Knight is, if he's still there after that fight. So, but I do think that, Knight gets him to the ground after, being a little hairy on the feet. And I think he might even get wobbled in this fight, but I think he's going to get to the map and tap him out. But yeah, if Benitez gets the win, then you guys are sharp for betting him. So yeah, I got Jason Knight by a second round submission. So for the main event of the evening, we got my first play, my only play of the night so far. We got T-City versus Cub Swanson. Now, I got 2 units on T-City at plus 175 in the distance. I missed out plus 105 straight. I'm going to be putting 4 units on him straight once it hits plus money. I don't know if it's going to hit plus money again, but I mean, if it doesn't, I'll be, hitting it pretty soon at whatever. It's at minus 115 right now. But yeah, I'm at T-City a lot here, I picked him to win last fight. I didn't bet him. I'm really mad that I didn't. Damn, dude. It was the best T-City we've seen. I mean, his striking has improved so much. His striking looked really good in that fight. He definitely won the first round. He lost the second. The third round was close. But, I mean, we haven't really seen his striking until that fight. I mean, he looked really good in that fight. I mean, you don't want to take this guy to the mat. The guy, in my opinion, has the best ground game in the division. I mean, outside of Max Holloway, I mean, I think he has a better ground game than Max Holloway. I mean, this guy, come on, dude. That jits that he has is legit, dude. And Cub Swanson's been tapped out 5 times. All these people are saying that, oh man, Cub Swanson's gonna get a knockout on this. When has T-City ever, been finished? I mean, he's never been. And no, he's undefeated, but I mean, the guy's known for his durability and his cardio, and breaking you and putting you out late. So Cub Swanson's been tapped out 5 times. He's been knocked out before too. I do think Cub Swanson is better on the feet, but I mean, the T-City we saw against Volcano, I mean, I think it's going to be close, and I do think that he'll get to the ground. I mean, Cub Swanson got taken down against Artem 2 times. I mean, T-City doesn't even have that wrestling to take him down. He can catch a kick and get him down, So I think T-City's going to get to the mat. He has 5 rounds to do it. I think he's going to tap him out. I think he's actually going to hurt him on the feet, to be honest, and then get the submission. So a lot of people out there, man, are picking Cub Swanson, betting Cub Swanson. I think Cub Swanson's on his way out, man. I mean, the guy, he's on a 4-fight win streak, but against who? I mean, Hakran Diaz, jobber. Katajura, jobber. He actually almost lost that fight too. Duhu Choi, tough guy. He took his first L, but I mean, he definitely took a lot of punishment in that fight too. So I do think T-City has the better chin here, and definitely Cub Swanson's taking more punishment. So we'll see how his chin holds up when T-City likes him, with his boxing and his knees. You got to watch out for his knees. And then he beat Artem's last fight, but I think Artem could have won 2 rounds. Man, I mean, come on, man. Artem, a 50-50 fighter, a tough jobber, took you down twice. Like, come on, you should have gone out there and finished Artem, but you didn't. You didn't even look that dominant either in that win, So, I mean, T-City tapped out Mike Delatorre. You got, no contest because I think he got popped or something. Then after that, he beat Thiago Tavares, tough veteran, tapped him out in the 3rd round. Brando tapped him out in the 3rd round. Clay Guida, that was a 1-1 fight going in the 3rd. Don't give me that bull crap that was a 2-0, Guida fight. No way, man. That was a 1-1 fight going in the 3rd, and, T-City finished in the 3rd round. And then the Moicano fight was the best T-City we've ever seen by far. I mean, he looked terrible with the wins. I mean, he just striking him looked leaps and bounds as ever looked. So I like T-City a lot here, man. You cannot sleep on this guy. I don't think he has bad stand-up at all. I think his stand-up is actually good. And like I mentioned, I do think Cub has the advantage on the feet, but it's very, very close. And like I mentioned, T-City definitely has advantage on the ground. It's not even close there. I mean, but the guy's 5 rounds to get it from that. So I think he's in the sooner or later he's going to get it from that. And, I like the guy's cardio, man, his durability. I mean, he breaks guys T City is no slouch, man. I mean, I think the guy could actually be, a lot of guys in his division, man. So we'll see. I like his fight IQ too, man. So we'll see what happens, after T City beats him. But yeah, man, I got T City here by a second round Darce choke. So there you go, guys. Those are my plays for the night. Sorry, my picks for the night. And yeah, man, so far I just have T City 2 units in the distance. I will be playing them straight. I'm waiting on the line right now. Besides that, though, I'm not really sure, if I'm going to bet anyone else. But yeah, man, next week we have a pretty decent card. I believe it's RDA versus Waller, Ponzi versus Mike Perry, Canada versus Jan. I'm going to start actually tape right now when I, finish this because I'm done with finals. And let's get it, guys. Let's all catch this weekend, and I hope everyone, kills it. So, all right, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Later, guys. I'm sure Ricky will be back next week, too. Later, guys.